Jane Bekele.
My name is Isaac Davenport.
And I'm Anthony Augustin.
We're the Teen Arts Council, and we're here with the artist Adriana Varejão. Glad to have you.
What were you like as a teen, and what was it like growing up in Brazil, specifically?
Brazil is huge. I live in a very nice city, which is Rio de Janeiro. And one very good thing about Rio is that you are always outside. You know, there is a very nice life outside, and we are very connected to the nature.
Where did your interest for art first start?
I think that every kid is an artist. It's just we forget how to be an artist, and then we have to learn again how to be an artist. I enrolled into engineering university, nothing to do with art. But actually it was something very funny that happened. When I was at the engineering university, I was watching a film on the TV called Sandpiper with Elizabeth Taylor, a Vincent Minnelli film. And the role she plays, she was an artist. And you know, I had like 17 years old, and I was like, oh my God, I want to be like her. It was a nice story. So I was like, oh my God. And then the next day, I enrolled in an art school in Rio de Janeiro called Escola de Artes Visuais, School of Visual Arts of Parque Lage. In Rio, there is a whole generation of artists who studied there. I met people there, and then we rent a studio together, and then I began to work.
We wanted to know, how was the history of Brazil and how has it influenced your art?
Yes, the history of Brazil totally influenced my art. We were colonized by the Portuguese. So there was amazing Indian cultures there. There was this African immigration. So I think that Brazil has a mix which is very nice. It's a country built by many, many different cultures and people. I think in my work I do a kind of counter-conquest. So I brought all the elements that the Portuguese brought to Brazil. I take all these elements, and then I give them back in a totally different way, you know, perverting this language and giving back.
How does the idea of cannibalism relate to your work?
Yes, there is a difference between cannibalism and anthropophagy. It's two different concepts. Normally we say that cannibalism is when you simply eat human flesh. And anthropophagy involves a ritual. So what we say that the Brazilian Indians, the Tupinambá, they had a kind of ritual cannibalism. It's about, yes, eating the other. For instance, that work that China is not a culture that is necessarily related to Brazil, but I wrote a story, a fiction where, because the Chinese pottery interested me, so I went there and took the technique of the Song pottery and put it together with the Baroque. Nothing had to do with nothing, but I create something that is original and interesting in that encounter.
Do you think there's a difference between yourself living in Brazil with your skin color or someone who's more from an African background but still Brazilian?
Yes, that's a big issue. I don't have the answer. It's very complicated. But I think that in Brazil we have many problems, social problems, and this is mixed with skin color, you know, racial color, so it's mixed. I think what I see, I'm not a specialist, I'm just an artist, and you know, the work of art is not to answer anything, it's to provoke questions, you know. So with this work, Polvo, I provoke many questions in the people. I don't have the answer. I think that It's nice when the work begin many discussions.
I would like to ask more about like the portraits, because you had altered the ones where you altered your skin tone in them. I just want to know your reasoning for why you had altered your skin tone, and like when you went from depicting a Chinese woman or an indigenous woman. Why would you do that?
I used my figure because I think it's the easiest one to do that. I would not do that with anyone. I think it's easy to do with me, like this kind of experiences. And there is this tradition about self-portraits, which I like to visit. But in the work that I deal with ethnicities, like Indian, Chinese, I brought like 3 marginal cultural ethnies, not non-European. So I brought the Chinese, which is Eastern. I brought the Moorish, which is African, and the indigenous. Because the Portuguese, they had colonies in Macau, which is China, in India, in Africa, and in America. So they were like totally spread around the world. So it was the first time, I think, that this culture could touch each other in a very like fluid way. I feel that I am like all of them. You know, I made a series with like 12 portraits. So we had like many things in between black and white. So I feel like all these identities are inside me.
So there's one thing that we like to do when we interview the artist. We would like to ask you a few kind of fun little questions just about you personally and things that you enjoy or would think about yourself.
Oh my God.
You can be really
Yeah, they give me really quick. If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
One meal?
Yeah.
Potato.
Would you rather talk never again or talk with one person for the rest of your life?
Talk with one person.
Okay. Would you rather have feet for hands or hands for feet?
Hands for feet.
That'd be cool.
What's your spirit animal or mythological creature?
I think it's dragon.
All right, spoon and fork or spork? I don't know.
What is pork?
It's like it's like a combination of a spoon and a fork. It's like the spoon with the little.
Does it exist?
Yeah. I don't know how to say it.
Must be weird. I prefer fork.
What's your favorite season?
We don't have. In Brazil, it's always summer. We don't have like here that you have so many seasons. It's so nice. We just have one, like the same season the whole year, which is very nice.
And how do you cook your eggs?
I don't cook.
That's all we have. So thank you for
Thank you.
being with us.
Thank you very much.
It's only one.
It is only one.
And in the south, it's three.
In Bulgarian. 2 kisses.
Bye.